Please welcome co-writer, director, Christos Nikou. Welcome, Christos. Thanks for being here, Christos.
Thank you for inviting me again, and thank you all for staying until now.
The last line in the film, he says, "This is gonna hurt," and I think about the title of the film, Fingernails, and we think about a love story. It's so just very different to have a film called Fingernails, and the fact that he's addressing that this is going to hurt. Can you talk about that dichotomy?
I mean, first of all, love hurts sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's painful, but we need it. Even when you are leaving somebody in order to start a new relationship, it's painful, and but it's also so beautiful, and we need it in our life. Mm-hmm. We need love, and at the same time, yeah, fingernails. I mean, we could have called it "This is gonna hurt." If you want, we can change it. But we love the title "Fingernails." We feel that it's a little bit more iconic in a way, and also you will remember it. If it was "This is gonna hurt," in 5 years, somebody will have said that, "Oh, do you remember that movie that it's called This Is Gonna Hurt?" What is that? It's about a hospital, it's about what? So at least when something is called Fingernails, it's very distinctive. It's very iconic.
Yeah.
And it makes sense also. We're seeing fingernails in the movie.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, you heard me when I introduced the film that this defies genres. It's not a sci-fi film. It's not directly a love story. It defies genres. Is that something that you strive for?
Yes, I call the tone of the film melancholic smile tone. And for me, I'm not a big fan of movies that they're only one thing. In general, the problem is that, and I'm telling for all of you, I don't know how many of you are filmmakers here or how many there, that we are teaching the audience. And we were teaching the audience from, as I was telling you earlier, from the ancient Greece. We started it there by creating only drama one way and comedy the other way. And there wasn't a middle way. There wasn't a combination. It was always, you knew that you will go in a theater and you will cry, and you knew that you will go in a theater and you will laugh, but not combine the two of them. Mm-hmm. And life is not this or that. Life is all together. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's what we try to create here, that we have all these different emotions that can create a movie, that can make you laugh, that can make you smile, that can make you even be scared a little bit sometimes. I hope that you weren't so scared. Or cry, maybe. So that's what I believe that movies should be. It should be like life, which is everything.
There is a timelessness to the film. We don't know if we're in the future, we're in the past, we're in the present. You know, can you tell us about coming up with this, you know, as I said, timelessness to this world?
With the movie in general, we're trying to make, as I said at the beginning, a comment on the connection between technology and love. And I am feeling that right now so many people around me are using all these dating apps. They're swapping right or left with their finger and their nail in order to find the perfect match. Even when in the past and still people are trying to prove love, they are putting a ring or their finger. Mm-hmm. And I feel that also but love is something that you don't have to prove it. It's something that you have to feel, and something that you need to work on it, as Jesse is trying in the film. And I have the feeling that a lot of things are happening right now through screens. And that scares me, for example. It scares me that we're letting an algorithm, an AI, to decide about us. And that's why we try to create a movie that it's a little bit like what if was happening maybe at the end of 90s. We don't know exactly when the movie takes place. It's timeless. The last reference is Notting Hill, because Hugh Grant is the only one who knows what is love. And I don't know why. because I don't know if it's the accent, if it's the hair, if it's the way that he talks like this. I mean, but he always gets the movie. And for me, because you said about science fiction, Notting Hill is a science fiction. No?
If you say so.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, when I was young, I said to my mother, when I was very young, I said to my mother, okay, and I got to Notting Hill, I know what I will do in my life. I will open a bookstore, and the most famous Hollywood star will come and beg me to fall in love with her. So in that terms, it's a science fiction. But no, I mean that, so we try to create everything timeless. I'm going to get in the question because, no, I'm sorry, I'm going from here to
I'm
there.
enjoying this. So.
And I think that we try to keep only one test machine in the movie, the only technological device. So it's like that everybody goes into this technology to find an answer. And right now, how everything is one click, and how everything, we are living in the time of fast food emotions, I feel, with the internet, with the technology and everything. That's why what we are presenting with this test machine, that it's one click, and then you are looking at the screen, and you are waiting for the reply. And the reply is coming, and you have to trust it, because we trust technology.
When I watch your film, I love the texture. There's a grainy quality to the film. You obviously shot it on 35, and I don't know, I mean, you can tell us about the lenses and the quality that there is a grain, there's a homemade quality to it, texture. Can you talk about the importance of shooting it that way?
We shot it because you asked about lenses with Cook lenses. We shot it on 35 millimeter. And in general, we decided to go in that direction because, first of all, I love film. I'm a little bit old-fashioned person. And also, as we wanted to create something that looks timeless, we felt that it much better in that way. And also, we can create more, I don't know, I feel that it's always more rich, the film, in terms of texture, in terms of everything almost. So, and because the movie, as I said, it's timeless, and I feel that maybe it's a movie that we shot at the end of 90s or beginning of 2000s. I was very young, I know, but I was from 15 years old when I shot the movie. And we put it on a shoebox, and people are discovering it right now, and it's a prophecy about our life. So we wanted to have that feeling in the film.
And also, tell us about, I mean, we're used to, our expectations, sort of a science fiction film is going to be cold, and instead your film, the colors are so, you know, you use primary colors, you use royal blue, rich reds, rusty reds. Can you tell us about the significance of that approach?
Yes, we tried then with Marcel Rev, the cinematographer, and Zazu Myers, the production designer, to create something that looks very warm and inviting, not only for the people in the movie, but also for the audience. I always, I'm not a big fan of movies that they are high concept or conceptual, and they believe that because it's that, and it's a little bit dystopian, that it has to be either futuristic, either distant, either they are trying too much to create something that doesn't exist right now.
Correct.
When I believe that it's much more powerful, you can create something that looks very grounded and very familiar to us. Because actually we're not making a science fiction movie, we're making an allegory about our society. And we're trying to make a comment about our society and how love has changed, especially the last years with the extensive use of technology.
And you know, how should I put this without being demeaning to Toronto? It was obviously shot in the most generic city that you can come up with. You know, tell us about why Toronto and the city it is set in.
Is somebody here from Toronto? Oh, fuck.
Apologies. It's
okay. Toronto is a very beautiful city.
yes, no, and it's got a great film festival.
Yes, no. Toronto is, can I say it? I mean, Toronto is a little bit boring city. We all know that.
I use the term generic.
They will kill me. We all know this. Yes. We don't know that? No, I'm just kidding. No, Toronto is very generic. And that's the beauty of Toronto, that I feel that even if it's so generic, you can create something that it's unrecognizable, but at the same time has an identity. It has that very strange feeling that you can create something with identity without having identity. So I know from tomorrow I cannot go again back in Toronto, but I mean, we wanted to create that, and we wanted to create that feeling that we don't know exactly where we are. We're just somewhere in this world.
Yeah, I mean, the location is so specific, but at the same time, it is generic. And
Like Toronto.
yes. Tell us about working. How did you arrive into casting Jesse and Riz in these roles?
Jessie always surprises me in whatever she's doing, and I love her performances. And Riz is a chameleon. He can adapt from comedy to drama very easily, but we have never seen them in something romantic. So I was really hoping that they will have this great chemistry together. And then, of course, Jeremy Allen White is the perfect choice for me for completing that love triangle, because it doesn't make the choice easy, either for Jesse or for the audience, because you feel that how complex it is, everything, and love is complex, and yes.
And I'm curious, sex is rarely mentioned in the film, and then children are non-existent in the film. I'd love to hear your take on that aspect.
It's not that we didn't, no, it's, we tried, I think that...
Because there's no sex in Toronto, I get it.
Yes,
yeah.
And there are no kids in Toronto, I don't know. No, it's to be honest, we try to create something that, sex, first of all, when I'm seeing sex scenes in movies, I'm feeling that they're very fake. I am feeling that, most of the times, that they are very fake. And also, I feel that sex, it's easy in terms of love. It's the easy part. The difficult part are other things, and the things that matter more, and they are more meaningful to a relationship. So we wanted to show everything through the glances of them. We wanted to show everything. I said at the beginning that love should go through eyes and not through screens. And that's what we try to do. I don't know how many times in the movie Jesse and Riz are looking at each other all the time. And they are looking at each other so passionately. And you feel that there is so much emotion there in their glances. And we wanted to keep only one kiss scene that is probably much more sexy than to have a real sex scene in the film.
Yeah. And the lack of children?
We wanted to talk about relationships without children at the moment. We want to talk about relationships between humans, adults, and without caring about if they have children or not. And also, we're talking about relationships almost at the beginning. All these relationships are almost at the beginning, before the time that they will have children.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned to you during cocktails that I love the timeliness of your film, and it recalls other filmmakers like Billy Wilder, The Apartment, and I love to hear the other filmmakers and movies that inspire you to make the film.
As I told you, the movie that made me to want to be a filmmaker was The Truman Show. And I love so much that film because I think that it has the perfect balance on everything. It has the perfect balance between comedy and drama. It has the perfect balance between making something that is high concept, but it's so grounded, and at the same time making something that looks a little bit dystopian, but it's a character-driven story. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the way that we try to approach everything, in a very humanistic way, in that way, and to create something that has almost a similar tone. Mm-hmm. And then for sure, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is an inspiration, and in general, the Charlie Kaufman work. Mm-hmm. And yes, mainly these movies. And
you mentioned tone, and earlier you talked about this half-smile quality. Can you expand on that? Is that something that even when you start writing, I've seen Apples, and it has the similar tone this sort of bittersweet tone to it. Is that something from the get-go that you strive to achieve?
I think that movies reflect a lot how the creators are. and I'm not saying that I'm a bittersweet person, but I'm saying that in a way I feel that people that they know me well, they are telling me that the movie is very close to how I am as a person, because sometimes I'm trying to be funny, but mainly I'm a melancholic person. So I think that that's what we try to create, and we try to create something that it comes from here. So it's not that we are trying to create it. It happens organically. It happens without a lot of, if you understand what I mean, without trying a lot. So we try to give something that I mean, we wanted that tone from the beginning. We wanted to create something that has all these bittersweet moments.
I noticed in the production, Cate Blanchett's company produced your film. She is not in the film, but she produced the film. Can you tell us about how that happened and working with Cate Blanchett?
It was in 2020 when we premiered the movie in Venice Film Festival.
Apples.
Apples, yes. The previous movie, yes. And I received a message the first day that Kate wants to have a breakfast with me. And I was like, I will not go. But then I was looking it again, and they sent me also my agents. Oh, you have to go. I said, okay, I will go. And I went for breakfast with her. And the problem is that we didn't have breakfast. I mean, she promised a breakfast, but she didn't give me anything to eat. And she started talking and talking and talking about movies. And I started also talking and talking and talking about movies, because I'm still watching 2-3 movies per day, as I was telling you earlier. And I am a cinephile. I don't believe that I'm a director. I'm a cinephile. And the same is for Kate. She's watching so much stuff. She loves so much cinema. And we shared exactly the same passion about cinema and life. And she said to me, I just want to play in the next movie. I said to her, no. And no, I didn't have a role. That's the problem. Otherwise, of course, I would have said yes. And then she asked me if she can produce it. And right now, she's here with us producing this movie, being executive producer of Apples. And she's a very close friend, and she's a wonderful person.
But never thinking, is there a role for me? Or
at one point, we thought of the idea to give her the role of Luke Wilson and to make the owner of the Institute a woman. But then, I don't know, I had the idea, because I didn't tell you that at the beginning we tried to cast Hugh Grant for that role.
Notting Hill.
Yeah, I mean, because you know that, as I said, Hugh Grant is the only one who knows what is love. And he always gets the girl at the end. And I said about how it is science fiction, the Notting Hill and all these things, and we felt that it will be a great inside joke of the owner of the Love Institute to be Hugh Grant. But he read the script, he loved it, but he said that it's a very small role. And that day I was in Toronto, in the beautiful Toronto, and I was watching in Toronto. I know I'm looking at you every time that I'm saying Toronto, I'm sorry. I was watching in Toronto, and I was outside from a cinema, and there was a marquee, and there was something different written there. And I said, I think Hugh Grant, you will go up there right now. So that's why his name is up there. It wasn't on the script. I wrote it after.
And then Luke Wilson is the poor man's Hugh Grant.
No, Luke Wilson is much better than Hugh Grant, actually. But I was very stupid to thought that, yes, that Hugh Grant was better at the beginning. But yes, I prefer Luke Wilson at the end.
Tell us about working with your composer, Christopher Strazy, it's a fantastic score.
He's a wonderful, wonderful composer. He hasn't done a lot of work. He has started the last 3 years. And he's also a very good friend right now. And he immediately, we talked about how, because we had all these synth pop famous 80s songs.
Yeah.
And we love that. And we love to create something that looks a little bit more pop, but at the same time, in order to create the right tone that we wanted, we want a little bit something more minimal and something more melancholic. And that's why we decided to create that score. Well, I hope that it's very beautiful, as I feel it in my ears.
the last song is Yaz. Love that.
Yes, it's actually a Flying Pickets version, the last one, the Only You. But yes, I love that Only You song.
And I meant to ask earlier about Marcel Rev, the choice of natural lighting all throughout the film. Instead of, very formalistic lighting, you use just available lighting. Tell us about that approach.
I love natural lighting. I feel that always it feels a little bit more. I mean, we use the lights, to be honest, because when you're shooting on film, you need the lights more. You need more lights, especially in the interiors, in order to make it work. But in general, even if when we were using, we were trying to make it look like a natural lighting. So as I said, we want to create something really warm, something really grounded, something really real. So that's why we created the movie in that way.
And what's next?
The next movie?
Yes.
Oh, we are trying to write a story that we follow a group of extras, background actors, that they are playing in famous movies from 1984. The first scene starts at Terminator. I will not say more. And it's about how we're all trying to be protagonists in our life, but we're still extras in this world.
Wow. And is Hugh Grant going to be in this?
Definitely. I mean, he will be one of the extras. Since he didn't want to play a role, right now he will play an extra.
Well, before I say goodbye, he's willing to answer questions from the audience. And if you guys want to linger out in the lobby or up here, if you have any questions, especially from Toronto.
Yes, whatever you want to ask. First of all, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you all so much for staying until now.
And thank you for being here.
And really, whatever you want to ask me, even why we used, I don't know, I will be outside there and I will be ready to reply to you. Thank you so much.
You're delightful. Thank you. Thank you so much.